Question for the show and the subject heading. Alright, there's a question on Oregon. Sherry, I am making Oregon blasters a small cupcake size, and I want to know with your experience how many are needed to affect an average-sized tower in my neighborhood. Also, is there some kind of formula to determine how much Oregon is required for a given area? I want to put POE in the water supply. What is a good mold for larger-sized Oregon blasters? The larger-sized Oregon blasters, what I use is parfait glasses. You know, like ice cream parfait dishes? Those are great for Oregon molds. Even the little one, the Sunday glasses, are what I use for my 5 ounces, my 5-ounce molds, and my 10-ounce molds. I use those tall parfait glasses because they have that kind of like ovalness at the bottom that I like. Cause you get absolutely no power in anything shaped in the form of a pyramid, folks. I don't know how many times I've seen Oregon, like at eBay or on the internet, and they have these beautiful pyramids. Yeah, you know what? They're nice looking, but they have no power unless you cut the tips off of them. There's no power with those kinds of tips. What you want is a rounded oval top to your Oregon. As far as going with towers, I tend to pelt them. Yeah, just a couple of 5 ounces. If you have a 3 ounce, maybe 4 around the tower or something. Get the tower itself. Don't throw it right up underneath the tower base because the workers will just find it and remove it. You can get up to a half mile, quarter mile up to a tower and get it, and that'll get the tower. You don't have to get it right under the base. You don't want the Oregon found and removed. A lot of times they put these towers to try to mask them. They put them in woods and in trees and stuff like that, and so you throw Oregon in that. They won't find it. That's the biggest thing, is not getting it found. You don't want the Oregon to be found. And don't just get the tower. I mean, you can get the tower, but eventually do a grid around your neighborhood. You can go to your strip malls, throw them up on the roofs of the buildings at the strip malls. A lot of strip malls built in areas where there's trees and bushes and shrubs behind them, so if you throw it back there. A lot of ways to get creative in getting Oregon out there. Is there some kind of formula to determine how much Oregon is required for a given area? Yeah, it's called Ask Ya. When you're out there throwing Oregon, just ask him where he needs it, where he wants it. I mean, I have a blast out there with Oregon. Just take you out with you. You know, ask him to lead you where to put it. You'll feel it urging in your spirit where to put it. So take him with you. We're doing this for him anyway. Question. Any thoughts on the economy? What is going to happen? What are they going to do? What is their plan? Crash it this year to start the Amero? Thanks for your time. I don't really know. They've been propping it up since last year. I mean, we haven't had any gold. The vaults have been empty since last year, so they're just propping it up. There's nothing prophetic about the economy. I mean, there's no real prophecy aligned to it, like this can't happen until the American economy crashes or whatever. It's just one of those things that are just happening as a whatever. You know, I can't tell you what's going on with the economy. If they want to prop it up, then that's good for us. Because we know it's going to crash. It's just a matter of time. It's going to crash on its own. When Maitreya comes, he's sheer famine. He's the famine horse. Got wars coming. You know, Damascus is going to be nuked, and we could be at war with Iran, and, you know, their idea was to create this big World War III Holocaust-type thing in the Middle East. So at the height of this war, here comes Jesus, and his fake angels, his UFO charade from heaven. That's what he was going to ride in on. And so, very well could happen, folks. If you want to do something smart, just be stocking up on food, water, and camping supplies. That would be really, you know, camping supplies in case you have to leave your area, leave your home, whatever. You don't want to be going to no relocation camps from the government. Question from a listener. When reptilians morph from human to reptilian, do they change size, bone structure? Oh, yeah, it's just like you've seen Incredible Hulk. Also, I don't know how they do it. Also, still wondering who's considered the White Horse Rider. Is it one person entity or a group of people? I was under the impression at one time that it was the Oregon Warriors. Who is it? Can you tell us yet? I won't tell you what it is. I could, but I won't. Yeah, it is. It's actually all three. It's the Lord, it's a person, and it's a group. and all three are the white horse rider. And so, yeah. Just as you have Maitreya and his locusts and all these things that are going to help him with the famine. Because just think about it, folks. He's the rider of the black horse. His job's to bring famine. At the same time, he declares how he's the world teacher and how great he is and blah, blah, blah. And he's like Dr. Jekyll and Hyde. Because going on behind him, he's instigating this whole world famine. But when the locusts are unleashed, for 5 months, it's going to be very foggy and dusky on Earth. And that alone is going to cause food production to be halted, stopped. Plants aren't going to grow without sun. So just imagine that, alone. He's got his locusts and his whole movement of warriors, and the Lord has his, The Lord has his. Yes, definitely, the Oregon warriors are just a small fraction of the 144,000. We don't even have 144,000 Oregon warriors. We probably have 4,000 if we're lucky. But it's just a small fraction of the faction that are going to destroy Satan's butts. And one of the interesting things that I see in regards to Oregon is that it's apocalyptic. There is apocalyptic significance to the Oregon. And if you look at all the effects, because I talk to some people close to me all the time, and I giggle and I laugh and I have a good time looking at these codes about things that are coming, they are going to cause, Oregon is going to cause the boils, and some of these plagues that are mentioned in the trumpet judgments. And I've always said that the Lord, when He decrees a judgment, He will use His people to implement that judgment. And that's exactly what this small fraction of Oregon warriors is doing, implementing Bible prophecy. You're watching it come alive. And who would have thought, 2-3 years ago, back when the Lord led us into Oregon, that it even had apocalyptic significance. At the time I was just praying and asking Him, okay, I'm being attacked by all this technology, how do I stop it? And that's how he led me into Oregon. And now you look at it 3-4 years later, and just a huge significance of Oregon, just everything it does. And the biggest thing is it gives people peace and protection. When you look at it as a combat weapon, and it's what causes people to break out in hives and boils. Chip implants, good way to tell if you're chip implanted, because Oregon will burn you. I've heard from people that had chip implants in their feet, didn't know about it, and the Oregon would just make them feel like their feet were on fire. And so they took magnets and put the north side of these neodyme magnets on the heels of their feet to deactivate the chips. And so that's a good way of finding out if you're chip implanted and where, because it makes you feel like you're on fire. And that's what it's going to do to Jesus' forces in September when He comes. How many people really, you really got to be desperate to buy Him as the Son of God. When He comes and he's emaciated, he's anorexic. Bible code says he's anorexic.